It's the 12th week of the National Conference, and already decisions that will make up the final report of the conference are being taken. Hello and welcome, I'm Lanre Lasese. It's that time we bring you the program Rethinking Nigeria, A Perspective. Now, a lot of decisions were taken this week at the conference, like on minimum wage and fuel subsidy. A short report of the major events of the week will be coming up in a short while. Then, a chat with our regular guest where we review the events of the week. But first, this report. Resuming for plenary on the first day of the week, delegates immediately got down to work. One of the issues they treated had to do with a proposed protest by aides and drivers of delegates. The deputy chairman said the conference had received a copy of a petition addressed to the Inspector General of Police.
If you can't control these aides and drivers, the security men will. So please, talk to your aides and drivers. Don't give the impression that they are doing this with your connivance. But the police now are under instructions to ensure that nothing disrupts our work here.
This position opened up another matter altogether as delegates reacted.
6 weeks we have not paid the delegates in this hall. Maybe the drivers and the security men should also be told that everything is not about money. But we advise you also talk to your own security men, your own staff, because they are complaining that you are not taking care of them. Thank you, my Lord.
Even the presiding officers have not been paid for the same thing because government has not given us the money. It cannot be true that the drivers in the secretariat are behind this because we make sure that they are paid from our own funds.
So check in your house. There's a rat in your house. That is corruption is in your house. So Deputy Chairman, don't say you don't hear. I've heard it is true. We are complaining. Thank you.
Delegates started by considering the report of the Committee on Public Finance. As expected, the issue of fuel subsidy was a key point that took some time to resolve.
That the federal government shall, within a period of 5 years from debt, build new refineries and repair existing ones to full capacity utilization.
This motion by the Nwanyawu group as read to you with the amendment proposed that it should come in 3 years from the time government accepts the proposal. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against say nay. Definitely the ayes have it.
The conference also considered the report of the Committee on Public Service.
All those in favor that legislators at the national and state levels should function on part-time basis, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Payment of pension, life insurance, and severance for legislators should be cancelled. All those in favor of that say aye. Aye. All those against say nay. The ayes have it.
One of the main issues had to do with a proposal seeking to have the issue of minimum wage moved to the concurrent legislative list.
So all those in favor that the minimum wage should be moved to the concurrent legislative list say aye. Aye. All those against say no. No. The noes have it.
The other amendment that sought to review upward the minimum wage was also considered by the conference.
All those in favor that the national minimum wage should be reviewed upwards from 18,000 to not less than 40,000 say yes. Yes. All those against say nay. Nay. The nays have it.
Another amendment proposed that 40% of the ministers to be appointed by the president should be female.
All in the cabinet shall be female. Say aye. All those who say no. The no service.
The conference also commenced consideration of the report of the Committee on Science, Technology and Development. Delegates are to commence voting on the proposed amendments on resumption on Monday. Well, next, let's take the chat our reporter Benga Ashiru had with our guest, Mr. Tedo Peterside, who's the president and founder of ANAP Foundation. He's also a delegate at the conference.
Now, going into the heart of the story, this week started with the revelation of the unpleasant payment of delegates' allowances for 6 weeks. And findings have shown from delegates that this has led to some delegates not even attending the conference so far.
I mean, let's be fair. Of course, if they didn't pay the allowances, it is most difficult for those coming from outside Abuja, who are having to maintain themselves in a different city from their home. But I think the good news is that at least I can confirm that as of Friday evening, they had sent money to my bank account. So I assume that the same was done for other people because they pay at the same time. So that I think the matter was resolved on Friday, so that there was a backlog. But I think they've now made the payment. So hopefully it should not be an issue in the week ahead.
Now, for a conference of this magnitude, was any reason adduced, or were you given any explanation why there was an unpayment of delegates' allowance?
I mean, to be honest, I don't have the full details, and so I never try and get involved in answering questions where I don't have the facts. The bottom line is that the payment was late. That is a fact. But from what I said, it appears like it has since been made.
Now, how would you assess the report of the public finance?
You know, public finance is one of those committees that when the breadth of what they are handling begins to go deeply into the economy. And I must say that from the first day when the national conference was conceived and when the formula came out for picking delegates and so on, I think there was always going to be a concern that a confab of 492 persons will have some obvious strengths. I think we're definitely very strong on the legal side, on the political side, on the social side, you know, sort of civil liberties. On the economic side, we're not very strong. And I'm just talking about the natural endowments of the delegates. So it was always a concern in the back of my mind that when it came to economic issues, it may be difficult in the short time, in a large number of people, to get facts and figures out, get people to understand that when it comes to the economy, it's about trade-offs. You cannot just have a wish list. I want this, I want that, I want the other, you know, and the bills keep piling up. It's like a household. If I come to your house and your wife says she wants to buy everything under the sun, the first thing you say, look, my dear lady, I love you very much, but you can't afford all these things. Can you make some choices? So there's an extent to which we are piling on things, a wish list, asking for this, this, and the other, but not willing to give up anything to pay for it. So let me give you an example. Therefore, the public finance report, and I'm sure it's the same for the others that will come on the economy, and the sentiment in the House. Some people said, and I agree with them, that we need some sort of a social safety net. By that, we mean Nigeria should follow the path of other countries that makes a small payment to the most disadvantaged every month. It cannot be that we can only afford to give them zero. If somebody is unemployed, an adult, a Nigerian adult, and he has no income whatsoever, that we should arrive at the point where we can at least pay him something. Even if it is 200 naira, that still beats zero. Obviously, the more you pay all those who are unemployed every month, the bigger the bill. As the bill gets larger, you have to think, where is the money going to come from? Now, the committee recommended doing away with the fuel subsidy because I think one of the arguments was that, which we all know is a fact anyway, that the petrol subsidy, the lion's share of the consumption of the petrol is by the wealthy. The richer you are, the more fuel you consume. Indeed, somebody gave the example of those irresponsible Nigerians that drive in a convoy. One man is going to the airport, one man and his dog or on his own, and he takes a fleet of 17 cars following him behind. Four-wheel drives the whole lot, burning subsidized fuel. I'm in favor of subsidies if they are being given to the poor and the poor alone. I'm not in favor of a subsidy being given to some irresponsible official who wants to take 17 cars to go to the airport. I think that kind of person should be made to pay the full price. In fact, it should be surcharged. There should even be a petrol tax on him. So therefore, some of us were looking for an arrangement where instead of having a subsidy arrangement which simply tries to reward everybody, rich, poor, alike, we wanted to follow the modern trend, which is to differentiate. Now we have instruments that you can use to differentiate and pay a subsidy only to the poor. It will involve identifying every Nigerian, biometrics, fingerprinting, and then you can simply say at the stroke, the following people, indeed you can even say, give each person come every month and collect 1,000 naira. Two things will happen. Do you think the wealthiest man in Nigeria will come and queue up to collect 1,000 naira a month? He won't bother. So it's only people who actually need it that will bother. And in any case, if you give each of them 1,000 naira, if they like, they can use it to buy fuel. If they like, they can just use it to eat. It's up to them. But I would have preferred an arrangement where you give that 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira a month to the poor and the needy. And then simultaneously, you take the price of petrol to the world market price. The poor people are getting this subsidy in the form of cash given to them, which they can use to augment their purchase. Then the very wealthy man who wants to take 17 cars to the airport to see off his wife has to pay the world market price for fueling 17 cars. So that is the way you get the savings from the fuel subsidy that you've extracted, clawed back from the rich. But it involves plenty of work. It cannot be done overnight, but definitely it's feasible. It's being done. Similar things are being done in Brazil, being done in India, being done in Iran. That is because we now have the means to identify in human beings biometric fingerprinting. And then you can make a payment to somebody directly.